Thanks for staying with us. So there's another story that caught our attention on social media. Some of our producers found a story where a woman, she's supposed to be, well, we never know how, we can't verify these stories, but when they come to us, we try to use them as reference points. So this woman allegedly said that she's the daughter of a general overseer. She got married in church, and everything happened perfectly in church with their marriage. And they had a courtship, the whole works. Getting into the marriage with this man, she then found out that he didn't have a penis. He didn't have a manhood. Then, according to her, it's been 3 months. They do everything else but the real deal. And the man says he was born like that. He was born without a manhood. And
for children.
And then, so for children, he advised that they should get adoption. They should try to adopt kids because at least it gives her some sort of satisfaction in other ways, except the way God had intended it to be. Anyways, she now came out on her videos crying for help because her family is insisting she must stay in that marriage because, hey, her father is a general overseer. She's not going to, you can't go and disgrace the family by leaving a marriage that has been widely celebrated, you know, in the church. She's confused because according to her, she's been in marriage right now and nothing is happening. She feels frustrated. Now, we're using this as a case study because, as I said, we can never verify these stories. But sometimes we've heard of so many marriages that were done under religion, either as a Muslim marriage or a Christian marriage, where certain things were not disclosed. You then find out in the marriage that the man can't get it up, or the woman doesn't have any feeling, or just something happens where, because it's all concealed. So if you're going to be married in church, you're not allowed to touch each other, you're not allowed to have those pre-marital explorations. You're only allowed to wait till you enter and then see what God gave you.
Yes.
So the conversation is this a doctrine that we should continue? Because we know it's supposed to be sanctimonious to help you to preserve yourself before entering this matrimony. But we have seen deception.
Plenty.
A lot of deception, especially young girls that get into it. I mean, I know somebody, this one no be just, somebody that when she entered the marriage, the man didn't touch her. He never touched her, and she was just wondering, why is this man not touching me? The man prefers to get satisfaction via TV on his own. Oh. He was by himself, sorting himself out by himself. But when he gets a woman for house, he won't touch the woman. And this is a proper religious Christian man, you know, proper. And she's like, what do I do? Who do I tell? Hey, he's not coming to me. So this is part of deception that a lot of women are harboring.
And grounds for divorce.
Pastors, family says, stay there.
I think it's unfair to look at this situation. What did they worry the parents? It's unfair to look at this situation and say, stay there for our name. Which name? We have to stop this. All this, what would they say? When they now talk about my family, they will say, I have a child that has divorced, I have this. You are putting the interest of the family name before your children's happiness. We need to stop it. She did not decide that she was going to pack up and end the marriage for whatever reason. This was based on deception. So you want your daughter to stay in that marriage, adopt children, and not be able to satisfy herself. Her husband cannot touch her. That's what you want. That is what you give your family, that name that you deserve. Who are you lying to and what are you hiding? What name are you preserving and what are you protecting? We need to take, and I am happy for, I don't know, I think her generation is a bit older. I'm happy for the sort of parents that you will not hear that and allow your child to stay there. You will carry her bag and leave the house. That's deception. I solved a case like this a few years ago. It was a family member who, after a while, she said she was going to be chaste, and she waited. You know, then she started a relationship with this young church man. That one was happy that, okay, you want to be chaste. Me, self, I want to be chaste. Only for them to finish wedding. All of us went to bought a shwebi, dance and everything. Or go home. A few weeks, nothing has happened. She kept... So this one is not that there was nothing there. There was something there, but it wasn't working. And this man has been like that for a very long time. The family, the mother, the in-laws, everybody knew about the situation. So that was why they were happy. He now finally met somebody who did not test. You know, who didn't taste it. And they started the marriage.
He was aware.
He was aware. Of course he was aware. He knew it wasn't working because no other person wanted to marry him. He was like in his late 40s when this marriage happened. So girls will come, they find out, and then they run away. And at the end of the day, I told this lady, so look at yourself 5 to 10 years from now. Would you want to be in a sexless marriage? Would it be okay for you to be in this marriage? Because he was advising that she can have a boyfriend and still be in the marriage. So she will be bringing the child inside the marriage. I said, is that what you want for yourself? After keeping yourself for this long and facing your God, is that the kind of life that you want? She had to make the tough decision. I'm happy for her now. She's remarried to somebody else just very recently. And she left that marriage. So we can't keep insisting this person stays in the marriage for family.
So
what?
We insist that our girls be virgins, you know, because it was the thing of bride.
I beg you.
You know, just wait. But we were asking them to wait, thinking that the men were equally responsible enough to do what was necessary. But now we're seeing a lot of men aren't responsible, and the girls are not looking for virgin men. Men are they're always looking for experienced men.
Yeah, of course.
They are not looking for virgin men. So how does a woman who is in that situation, let's even start with this woman's story. How does a woman in this situation, how does she even begin to find a solution?
Well, for me, the solution is easy. If she can't stay, then she should leave. He's saying that the truth is there are two ways to look at this. This is not someone, definitely the deception is involved. So in the very beginning, he should have told her his condition. She should have been aware, and then she should have been allowed to make the decision to go ahead or not. So now I'm just going to talk about someone who maybe was aware before the marriage and decided to go ahead, that it is possible to stay with someone like that. Because it's not someone that is saying, I'm not going to give you any pleasure. I will just give you in different ways. And concerning children, will adopt. But it still rests on you to decide if that's what you want to do.
So if you love him enough, you can stay.
Yes, if you love him enough, you can say, I will not get that, but there are other ways that he's willing to do it for me. There's other ways that he's going to make sure that I can get, you know, what I need. I may not get that one exactly. And for children, we can get, if she wants that, as long as she's been given the time to make that decision before she goes into marriage. So deception is the problem right now. There are people who have been in relationships like, you know, the one you gave example of, where they got married and this is a man who prefers to do it on his own and he's not able to do it with the wife. For me, that's even a simpler situation because you can work on that. But I hope it is something that, was it something he was aware of? The problem in all this conversation is
the lies.
Is the lies, is the deception. But many things can be worked through. But you have to allow the person make that decision. There are some people who have not learned how to, especially people who have been shielded. You've been told you should not touch anyone, you should not be involved in anything. And so you found a way to carry yourself through the years you are single by taking care of yourself. And now you have a woman in the house, you don't even know how to transfer that feeling into that person. And there is a way you can work that out. So sometimes it's not a, I'm not doing matter, it's are we willing to work? But the other person too has to be humble enough to recognize I have a problem and I'm willing to work it out.
Let me take this call from Yakub. Good morning, Yakub, you're live.
Yeah, well, good morning.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, good morning. And then,
morning, my brother, morning.
I think this is a very serious issue here.
It is.
This woman that just found out now, what is advice we are going to give to this woman now? I think I totally agree with Elsie. Because for me, my advice to the woman is this. The best thing for her is to take a leave. Because you cannot just manage that. And then the family that's trying to advise her to stay in the marriage, if they do that, how are they going to give back to her? Because you advise her to stay in the marriage based on what? Based that she will be going outside to go and bring the bastard at home. At the end of the day, maybe one of the men outside there got to know that he has children with her. But that one will come one day and claim time. So what will happen? So you are trying to protect the family name. At the end of the day, you bastardize everything at the end of the day because the issue is that you advise that he should continue to stay in the marriage, or because you don't want anybody to know that he is happening and all that.
Right, thank you very much.
Never be happy that.
Thank you, Yakub. So I'll come to one that, see, who are we to judge a situation like this? Let us look at it in a different way. What if God had brought them together because he wanted them to adopt a child? Maybe there's a girl, a boy, a little girl that needs adoption that he wants this couple to actually raise. There are different ways of looking at these things. You know, society says, if you cannot do it, get out. But just like you had said, they could have a conversation where, you know what, I love him enough to stay, where there are things, there are options now. There are ways where you can actually satisfy a woman without using the manhood. Yes, there are ways women get satisfied today.
Morayo.
Let me give you one story.
Yeah.
This is a story that someone shared of her personally. So she's a young girl, and in her own case, she's exploring before marriage. And she met, but before they got to the exploration stage, she was excited about this person she had met. He loves her, he cares for her. She says this is the best person she's ever dated ever in her young life. She's 26, 27, and he's asked her to marry him. And so they now progress in the relationship. And she realized while being intimate that the manhood is really small. So he does not really do what's meant to do, but he's treating her. So whatever else he needs to do for her satisfaction, he is doing it. And she's asking, should I leave? Everyone is saying, if you know that it's such a big deal for you, you can leave. But this is someone that is willing to make you happy. It is possible. I'm just saying it is possible to live with someone like that. He was created like that. There's no deception, and there are different ways to handle it. There are some people who have been married, and after a while find out that it's not working anymore. They find ways to do it. There are men who have married women who they love, and in the course of the marriage find out that the womb is not working, and they've decided, I can have children, you cannot, but we'll adopt. We'll find other ways. So I'm just saying, we seem to be a bit harder on men for that part of their bodies when there are different ways that they can work.
Let me
Why are you screaming?
I'm just screaming because I can't believe my ears this morning.
Wait, pause. Let me check how they're doing. Good morning, how they doing? You're live. Thanks for calling.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, my name is Morayo.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just want to say something. Growing up, my father was an elder in church, and I think they took us through the scriptures. I keep telling people that it's better you know God for yourself. They understand, in this matter, there's no marriage at all. There's no marriage at all because there's nothing like, it's based on deception. It should be on agreement. The Bible says, can two work together unless they agree? Unless they agree. So you must tell me whether you don't have room anymore. There was one that happened here in Abuja, in Central Parish. There was no room. The man's manhood wasn't working. So I think when it goes to the authority, they have to tell them that there's no marriage at all. There's no marriage because everything is based on deception. Why didn't you tell me at first that this is the situation? So if I'm willing to go with you, fine. And I think somebody was saying that we can satisfy you in so many other ways. This is a life matter. You live with it for the rest of your life.
Thank you very much, boy. So, I mean, I still insist that, listen, I think God does things in different ways. We never know. I'm not we are not, God has different ways of doing things.
I'm not in God's
So
mind.
what I'm saying is that we see it one way. Father, mother, have children. And God can say, you know what, I brought you guys together because I decided to birth the nation through you via somebody else where both of you have the mental capacity to raise for me. Yeah, so there are different ways. You shouldn't judge.
So in that kind of pairing, God will pair. I've heard women who don't like the D thing, right? God will pair you with a woman like that. God will not pair you with a woman who the D thing is her life or that she would love it and allow her suffer through because he wants his plan. God is not unrighteous. And for some people, if it's not vitamin D, it can never be like vitamin D. And that's why you must be upfront and, you know, personal.
She was a virgin.
No, hold on.
Doesn't know vitamin D.
No, listen.
Doesn't know what it looks like.
But she's shouting.
Hey, so she doesn't know the difference.
And see, for somebody to come out and be shouting about this situation, it's because she doesn't want it. You should understand that. Some people have been in this situation. They didn't say anything. Okay, this is what God has given to me. And they move on and they find their ways. You won't hear anything. But once you come and start asking for advice, it's because you don't want it. So you're looking for excuses to stay there so that it will be that people advised me, my mother said, my auntie said. That's why you're crying for help. She's crying for help. She definitely wants vitamin D. She may have been fantasizing all her life that finally I will marry. And now we get it. Only for you to get there, nothing is visible. So the thing is...
Whatever that means.
God forbid.
Okay.
The thing is, say it as it is. Those people who do not have the natural tendencies to go there can say, okay, this is not really a big deal for me. I'm not so much of this kind of... We will work it out. We will do things.
See, you and
we'll do that.
You and I have also accepted technology. We use I don't have to be calling you in VI and say I'm walking all the way to your house because I have a phone to call you. Let's adopt and embrace technology. Technology has provided options for women.
But you will not creep up on me
I think we're all right.
Yeah, you
we're
won't
all
creep
right
up on me.
because we're talking about choice here.
Choice. You won't
Giving
creep up on
someone
me.
the option
to choose.
if they want to go ahead with it.
Mbano.
So I give you
But
options
also,
now.
yes,
Can
so,
never be
that was one conversation. But also there's a conversation of maybe there are some men who may be formed that way from birth. Or as she said, she called it a handicap. And they are willing to get married. They're willing to start a family, but they recognize they may not be able to have biological children of their own. Does that mean close shop, never get married?
No.
If they are willing to discuss with another woman who is willing to go through that.
Yeah.
So it's a situation that
It goes back to what you said earlier, where everything in Nigeria is just hush-hush.
Yes.
We don't open it up. We don't say it.
don't
just
share.
keep it. You just marry her. Don't worry. She'll find out when you're on the wedding day. But you need to talk about these things. But we've not discussed the role of the church, the role of family.
Okay.
You know, because these are institutions that kind of help to guide society, our morals and values and all that. And the church is saying, God hates divorce.
They're not
You've
guiding
already
anything.
entered it. You've already, so you have to find a way to solve this problem. So this your desire that you're looking for, Mr. D. Maybe this is how God orchestrated for you to be.
Wow.
So this is where
That's how they are told in that's how we are told in church. That's how we are told in church. That God doesn't allow something that how do they say it now? God will never allow.
God will not trick me. But this is trickery.
give you something too much for you to handle.
No, God did not give me. God not lied to me. That's what you are telling me, that this your God now is not a liar. No. Come out and say it. If I can, I cannot. If she can, she cannot. We decide. You will definitely see if God has made it that way for his purpose and his plan in your life, right? Shebina, in your life, he will definitely give you somebody that can carry that cross. It's not my cross to carry.
What if he gives you the temperament or the personality to carry it?
I don't have
you
it.
know, what is, see, the thing is, it's not that God lied to you, because sometimes things happen even in the course of something, in the course of life. So it started off well, and then you find yourself in a situation. It's not that God has lied to you. It's just that life has happened. So do you have the temperament, the personality, the patience to walk through it? And God has already given us whatever it is that we need to work with going forward. It's okay to look beyond. I feel that sometimes when we are handling issues, we just look at it black or white.
Yeah.
It's okay to open our minds up and see what the other possibilities are. These people were created by God.
Yes, so.
People who cannot. There are women who would never be able to have children.
Yeah.
They were created by God, and they desire to be married.
Yeah.
They desire to have intimacy. They desire to have children.
Yeah.
And thank God for science and technology. Some are able to even have biological children that is carried by a surrogate. Some are not able to, but they're able to adopt.
Yeah.
So when we're having this conversation, just to broaden our minds,
Yes.
we find someone.
To broaden our mind
who
doesn't
the only
mean-
thing is that is lacking,
Yeah.
but is able to do everything
Because
else.
the
for
man
you.
might actually have the sperm thing inside.
No, I don't think.
And remove and
so,
carry the woman
sweetheart,
to
I don't
children.
think having children through adoption and all of that is the big
I know.
issue. I don't
Yeah.
think that's it. If something is working and we cannot walk to the point of getting children, we can always adopt.
No, if it's not
the
working-
way I am now, if I can adopt,
Yeah.
I feel like adopting a child.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think. But you need to understand that even the God that is creating these issues created us in our different personalities. What I would not want is forcing something on someone who does not have the capacity to handle it in
All
the name of
things
God
work
said.
together for good. Them.
That's
All
why,
things work
why are
together
you not
for
a
good.
medical doctor now? Why?
Should not.
Why?
I didn't study for it.
Because you don't have the capacity to handle
I
it.
could have, if I had studied, I would have had the capacity.
But you did not study, right?
Uh-huh.
Good. Nobody will take you to the hospital and force you to carry out an operation because God has given you everything pertaining to life and godliness. There are people who can. There are people who cannot. Let's respect the two angles. Some people, that vitamin D is the most important part. You see all those other issues, we can handle it. But you see this one, once I get this right, every other thing is sorted. You don't put that kind of woman in this place and you are preaching
People
God.
say they are now.
That's wickedness.
People say that there are robbers that actually feel like the real thing. I've never
Some
tried
people
it.
don't like rubber.
People,
I hope you know.
People say that.
Some people
say
like rubber in addition to what is. And I like where you're going to. What if it happens in the course of marriage, in life? I've enjoyed the sweetness of my youth.
This girl is a virgin.
I'm just telling you. I'm answering her question.
Okay.
If it happens in the course of the marriage, whatever life throws at us, I am with this guy.
Yeah.
We are gonna walk through it, but not at the beginning where I've not even seen life.
What if it happened during the relationship before you get married?
Are we waka?
So
I've never married.
That means you didn't love him.
Yes.
You don't love him. That means you don't love him.
They not concern me.
They were dating for a while and then an accident happens. A person is paralyzed.
your problem.
Accident is
Your
different.
No, your problem.
Cancer happens.
Your
You
problem.
walk away.
No, overdose on D, they shock you. That's your problem. In fact, you overdose. That's your problem. You have too much of it. We need to start giving you some
injection to bring it down.
That's your problem. Let's take a big comment on social media as we wrap up. Any comments on social? But I mean,
very important. That's Corey Michael says vitamin D cures frustration in women. Your mind go calm down. I agree with you, my brother. Okay, somebody says one cold beer for BC. Atinu Shola and Yani says, Mariam, God did not create any woman to be barren. No, I don't know.
All right, that's all we can
Okay.
take. I think we can wrap up on this, but really, in a nutshell, it's deception. I mean, no matter how we take this conversation, left, right, and center, and I think the law also recognizes that in that kind of situation, you can actually dissolve the marriage. There's really no conversation.
Yeah.
You must be truthful. You must bring the truth to the table before both of you now decide to come together. Once you don't give that information, and then we find out there's no marriage. And I think families should stop worrying about their name, our reputation, your position, and focus on the joy and happiness of their children. Same thing goes to the church. You know, it's all about, yes, we know God hates divorce, but God does not hate the divorced. He's still there. He's still his children.
Yep.
So the truth is that there's still some kind of love that we can find for these people. So let us understand that when you enter any kind of union with deception, that union cannot hold.